I wanted to go and give some attention to Marine Lieutenant Colonel Stu Scheller. I'm sure that everybody has seen this. If you haven't, I'm going to show you something over here. Now, he made a public statement. This is you don't know him before the last couple of days. He's a lieutenant colonel in the Marines, 17 years in, according to him. And a few days ago, he made a statement asking for accountability for the disaster in Afghanistan. And I want to play you 2 minutes of it, just so you can see what started this all off. So he made a statement of his own.
But the reason people are so upset on social media right now is not because the Marine on the battlefield let someone down. That service member has always rose to the occasion and done extraordinary things. People are upset because their senior leaders let them down, and none of them are raising their hands and accepting accountability or saying, we messed this up. If an 05 battalion commander has the simplest live fire incident EO complaint, boom, fired. But we have a Secretary of Defense that testified to Congress in May that the Afghan National Security Force could withstand the Taliban advance. We have chairmen of Joint Chief, who the Commandant is a member of that, who's supposed to advise on military policy. We have a Marine combatant commander. All of these people are supposed to advise. And I'm not saying we've got to be in Afghanistan forever, but I am saying, did any of you throw your rank on the table and say, hey, it's a bad idea to evacuate Bagram Airfield, the strategic air base, before we evacuate everyone? Did anyone do that? And when you didn't think to do that, did anyone raise their hand and say, we completely messed this up? I've got battalion commander friends right now that are posting similar things, and they're saying, wondering if all the lives were lost and if it was in vain, all those people that we've lost over the last 20 years. And he goes on to say that we're all part of a chain. While every link may not be tested, the strength of the chain is only as strong as each link, and you got to be, good link, something like that. And what I'll say is, and from my position, potentially all those people did die in vain if we don't have senior leaders that own up and raise their hand and say, we did not do this well in the end. Without that, we just keep repeating the same mistakes. This amalgamation of the economic / corporate / political / higher military ranks are not holding up their end of the bargain. I want to say this very strongly. I have been fighting for 17 years. I am willing to throw it all away to say to my senior leaders, I demand accountability.
So this is what started it all off. And now the bigger question, of course, is, did they not do it well, or did they do exactly what they wanted to do out there in Afghanistan? As it really popped off over the time that I was gone. And I took note of a lot of things: the terror attacks, the suicide bombs, the 12 or 13 American soldiers lost. And I believe that one of the people who lost their lives out there was a friend of this man's, this Lieutenant Colonel Scheller. Now, that started some things off, and he had a former commanding officer, I believe, or somebody that he had worked with, somebody that he said, if you you should go out there and watch the full 10 minutes. I'm going to play you another 2-minute clip, or a short clip, of how he ended his 10-minute address that followed this. Because he addressed somebody who had questioned his honor, to even make a video like that, questioned his honor and challenged him to resign. And that he lost his commission, but he also resigned. He resigned. He actually surrendered everything that he had coming to him, from his retirement to all of his VA benefits. As he said, it's probably a couple $1 million worth of benefits that he had earned over 17 years. He got rid of it all in a 10-minute address. You can find it on the internet, the full 10 minutes. You should definitely listen to it. I'm going to play you just how he ended it over here. Now, he didn't say that we needed to stay in Afghanistan. He did not say for any extended period of time. Just wanted to know why we chose to leave tens of thousands of Americans and allies encircled by the Taliban, and then tens of billions of dollars worth of military might that has now is being enjoyed by tribal warlords. Very interesting, and it's true. It's the most ridiculous thing you can think of. And it does not mean that you want to stay in Afghanistan. Why are you going to make them overnight one of the most well equipped militaries, especially in that part of the world? Listen to this. So he was challenged by an old commanding officer, wanted to resign, and this is what he said here in the ending of the video. He's sitting there right behind a chessboard. Now, I don't know too much about chess, so I don't know where the positioning of the pieces, what it means, if it means anything at all. But you just never know. Here is the last 56 seconds of this 10-minute address here.
I'm a coin-carrying member. We have all these laws on how to create wealth. The one thing they don't tell you is that going after stability and money can make you a slave to the system. And it can make you compromise what you truly believe in. I don't need a single dollar. I just need every single person that's willing to go back outside the wire every single day, to wear a blue collar and just go into work every single day and feed their families. Those are the people that I need. Follow me and we will bring the whole fucking system down. I am honorable, and you can ask any Marine who served with me for 17 years. I dare you to ask them all and find out what I'm made of. We're just getting started.
So, I mean, it's one of those things that'll make your hair stand up on end a little bit, but also, when you start saying we're going to bring the system down, it does get pretty political at that point. But let's be honest. I mean, he sounded like he's about to go Frank Castle on the world. And he's got this chessboard in front of him. I don't quite know the significance of the positioning of the pieces quite yet. If anybody has an understanding, you let me know. But, you say, that's unacceptable. He can do something like that, or it's treason. If some people calling him treasonous, sedition, all that stuff. But really, you're just getting more and more of that display. Everybody is barking. Everybody's talking out of turn. Everybody is out of line. You have General Milley out of line, just playing with himself and talking about white rage. You have the head of the CIA opining about the decision of the George Floyd murder trial, as if they have any reason to do so. The supposedly independent CIA, which is pretty much just what the country is now. The USA is the CIA. Even the CDC. Even you want to talk about people who are not staying in their lane. The CDC, that Rochelle Walensky chick, what a beak on her. That Rochelle chick, she's talking about how now they have to double down. They have to put millions of dollars of funding into figuring out gun violence. Gun violence. That's what they're talking about now. Gun violence. The CDC, Centers for Disease Control. Gun violence. Everybody is out of their lane. Sergeant Bulldyke is out of her lane. Everybody's out of their lane. But once again, it comes on down to in which direction are you barking? And you'll know exactly who's allowed to be boisterous, who's allowed to have their mic drop moment, and who isn't. It's only acceptable to demand such things like taking the system down when the system you're aiming to destroy consists of God, family, capitalism, the Constitution, and replacing it all with the CIA. That's perfectly acceptable. But understanding that there's something else at play here. There's something bigger going on here. And the most commonsensical way to save lives while you exit a war zone that we are long overdue having to leave, there's something to be said here. There's a lot of commonsensical things that are being ignored, and it's just way too much ignorance for it all just be by happenstance or some faulty intelligence. I've heard a lot of people say, well, they've also engaged. Here you have update on Lieutenant Colonel Scheller. This is from Paul McCleary on Twitter. U.S. Marine Corps says tonight they're taking this was last night, appropriate action to ensure the safety and well-being of Lieutenant Colonel Scheller and his family, indicating concern over his mental health. Yet you're always crazy when you see something, when you see the light. You're always the crazy ones here.